His technique is close to flawless. He's sitting on his punches in the right time, or he throws speed at the right time. His balance is crazy. Probably have the best balance in boxing.
Three-punch combination, goes back to it again! Oh! Big-time shot to the body by Inoue!
It's a beautiful, violent symphony, the way he moves.
Destructive work from the monster. Uppercut, body shot again! My, oh my! 3 body shot knockdowns and a knockout victory for the great Naoya Inoue!
There's no safe place in the ring when Naoya Inoue is the man looking across. The thing about Naoya Inoue is he's a complete package. He likes to entertain, he likes to take risks, he likes to exchange punches. Like, that's really a complete fighter for me.
I was really impressed in the Nonito Donaire rematch because I thought he looked undersized the first time they fought. The second time, he looked like the bigger man. He was able to put on that muscle. He was putting in the work in the gym, on the road, and in the weight room to actually grow into being a real bantamweight.
Nonito Donaire and Naoya Inoue, two virtuosos in the ring, present Poetry of Violence. There was dynamite in those punches. And this fight is over. What an impressive knockout victory for the monster. Naoya Inoue, a statement victory in his home country of Japan. And wow!
Inoue being able to do that, deal with a guy like Donaire, who's so dangerous and so dynamic, really speaks to his resilience.
Right now, Inoue, in the boxing world, he's that guy. He's one of the pound-for-pound greats, if not the #1 pound-for-pound greatest fighter today. And you always think that this performance can't be topped, and then every single fight he does even better.
Inoue is one of those fighters that he wants to test himself. And he loves the hardware. He's one of those guys that just says, you got the title, I'm gonna set my goals on that.
Very well done. You can check out the full length of that feature on Top Rank Boxing's YouTube with some of the current prospects and writers. Todd DeBuff on there talking about the talent that is Naoya Inoue, who is coming up in our main event. Of course, still our co-main event is still to come. But when you look back at some of the recent performances from Naoya Inoue, most notably, Chris, the last fight, one that I had called and you would watch saying, you know, in your backyard screaming at 7 in the morning when we're watching him fight Luis Neri and he hits the canvas. I mean, what's going through your mind in that round 1?
I mean, the monster's human. I mean, I remember watching Neri walking down to the ring. I'm like, man, he looks big, he looks focused. You know, this is the biggest, strongest guy that Naoya Inoue has ever faced, and showed because he cracked Naoya Inoue in the second round with a big overhand left and put him on the canvas. And not only just put him down, it was a real knockdown. And Naoya was hurt. He had to spend the rest of the round trying to recapture his wherewithal, and he did. And he came back with a vengeance. I mean, there we're seeing that knockdown that had Inoue down. Bang, big left hand right on the point of the chin by a big puncher.
I mean, that arena went silent.
Yeah, I mean, my backyard wasn't silent. My poor neighbors at 7 a.m. But I was on the edge of my seat the entire night or morning watching this fight because, I mean, it was just back and forth. But once Naoya got up, he went into Inoue mode. I mean, he was so impressive. He corrected the mistake that found him on the canvas, picking his chin up in too close quarters, tightened everything up, went back to the fundamentals, went back to what made him the monster, using the jab, setting up the power punches, leading with a jab, coming with the right hand, coming with the left hook, and then finally finishing Neri on the ropes in dramatic fashion with that right hand. He got up like, I know I'm gonna get this guy. I just need to get to him. Showed incredible resilience, incredible heart, and just the spirit, warrior spirit that the Japanese fighter always speak about.
And then in the fight prior to that, when he fought Marlon Tapales at Ariake Arena, I mean, he started the fight strong, swept the first 3 rounds, knocks him down. I mean, it was just a dominant performance from Naoya Inoue in that fight as well, against a 40-fight veteran in Tapales.
Tabales is a really tough guy to look good against. I mean, he upset the apple cart. He beat Akhmadaliev, you know, but prior to that, and then came in there with a game plan, was in great shape, but just did not have the firepower, the technique of Naoya Inoue.
So we'll see plenty of Inoue as we get closer to our main event. Then, of course, when he's standing across the ring from TJ Doheny. But up next, we have our world title fight, the WBO bantamweight title defense for Yoshiki Takei taking on Daigo Higa in the ring. And for Yoshiki Takei, coming off that impressive performance against Jason Maloney, had the pleasure of calling that one. Let's take a look at that. He started that fight very strong, and he's unorthodox southpaw style. You know, he went in there against the battle-tested Jason Maloney in his first world title fight in only 9 professional fights. That was his 9th professional fight, and he left some room for error and then some room for improvement, of course, especially at the end of the fight where you had the feeling if Maloney had one more round, he might have got him out of there because he got tired at the end of that fight.
He started very fast, showed incredible resiliency and war. Was holding on down the end of the fight, down the stretch. I mean, but again, not a crazy thought to think of someone, you know, who's in their 9th pro fight fighting for a world title against someone with so much experience like Maloney. But great back and forth action. He showed incredible ability, but Maloney being as tough as they come. Like I said, those Australians, man, they breed tough people. Maloney came back very strong, a lot of experience, showed some good power as well. But again, the resilience of Takei was really on display. Impressive stuff. Does enough to win in a hard-fought, a tough-earned decision, but I believe well-earned.
Yeah, and Maloney was quite upset, after that fight, feeling that he had done enough to win. In fact, announced his retirement in boxing. You know, what do they call that? Like a jerk move, you know what I mean? When he's upset and he's like, I know I did enough to win this fight. I know I did enough.
Knee-jerk reaction.
Yeah, knee-jerk reaction. Yep. That's what I was trying to think about. But now looking at Takei and watching that tape back, I mean, I thought he won that night, and I stand by that decision. And you know, tonight again, he's looking to defend his world title against a tough fighter who is every fighter he fights has more experience than he does with this fighter. 25 professional fights, 19 KOs. We look at the tail of the tape.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to see we always see a height disparity because Takei is very, very tall for the weight class, 5'7" at 118, 67.5-inch reach, so he's a 3.5-inch reach advantage and a 3-inch height advantage over Higa. But if we look past the tail of the tape, look at the numbers: 8 KOs out of 9 wins for Takei, 19 KOs out of 21 wins for Higa. So we got 2 guys who can really punch.
K1 からボクシングに転向し、わずか9戦で手にした世界の頂。
K1 チャンピオンとしてボクシングに挑んだっていう責任感、絶対取らなきゃいけないなっていう責任感がまた自分を強くしてくれたなと思ってますね。
チャンピオンとしての覚悟。
1個でも落としたら自分はもう終わりだろうな。自分の未来のために勝たなきゃいけないし、自分の価値を上げていくっていうのがまず一つの目標かなと思いますね。
時代の開拓者として心待ちにするあの男。
那須川天心君と試合したいっていう気持ちがあったので、お互いが無敗でいればいいんじゃないのかなっていう、自分が勝ってまた新しい未来切り開いていきたいなと思ってますね。
K1 でもチャンピオンになってボクシング来て無敗で世界チャンピオンまでなってすごいとしか言いようがないし、自分も倒しに行って一番盛り上がる試合をしたいと思います。
WBO 世界バンタム級1位比嘉大吾。日本記録となる15試合連続で KO 勝利し、世界のベルトも獲得したハードパンチャー。しかし防衛戦で体重超過、王座を剥奪された。
もう多分やめるんだろうなと思ってたんで、練習も行かないでいいとか考えたり、やめたら何も考えることないかな。
ボクシングを失い新たな道を探すも、
ちゃんとした仕事なんてやったことないんで、他のことをやろうと考えたんですよ。 金が尽きたところですよねだったら金のためにもう一回やろうと思って
素材としてはやっぱり素晴らしい稀に見る素材だと思います紆余曲折ありましたけど面倒見続けてきた選手なのでもう一度錦を飾らせてあげたいなっていう気持ちを持ってますね
乃木さんからちょこちょこ連絡があってて軽めに練習とか誘われてたんで、自分の練習態度とか試合に対する姿勢を見て、ちゃんとしないといけないなっていう心変わりをした自分にちょっとやっぱ期待していいんじゃないかな。
直近2試合を連続 KO で制し完全復活。比嘉にとって6年ぶりの世界戦とは。
仕事っすねはい、今やらないといけない仕事っすよ。稼げるからぐらいじゃないですか。
格闘技の申し子武井良樹、我が道を貫く比嘉大吾。
長い距離からの一発を得意としている選手なので、距離潰して戦うしかないです。
自分の得意な遠い距離で戦うか、大悟さんの接近して回転力で来るか、自分らの土俵の取り合いになると思うので、絶対自分が KO で倒してやるっていう気持ちでいますね。
KO で倒した方が面白いじゃないですか。
WBO 世界バンタム級タイトルマッチ、武井良樹 VS 比嘉大吾。
Ladies and gentlemen, we are ready for the first of our world title attractions. Please welcome the boxers as they make their way to the ring. First, from Tokyo by way of Okinawa, he is the former flyweight world champion, currently ranked the #1 contender. Please welcome Daigo Higa.
Making his way to the ring for his 25th professional fight. Chris, you mentioned it earlier, 21 wins, 19 of those by knockout. He is ranked #1 by the WBO, #3 by the WBA at 118 pounds, and he was a former world champion, having won the WBC flyweight world title and made 2 defenses of that. But after severely missing weight and suffering a suspension due to that, he moved up to 118 pounds and has been quite successful at the new weight class. now earning an opportunity to become world champion at bantamweight tonight as he takes on Yoshiki Takei. He's kind of turned the page on his career after what I'm sure he considers an embarrassment in 2018, having failed to make the weight, coming in 2 pounds over.
And now from Yokohama, Japan, here is the current undefeated WBO bantamweight champion of the world, Yoshiki Takei.
I would say it's one thing to win a world title, which he did in his last fight, but then it's a whole new ball game when it comes to defending it, Chris. And you're now the fighter with that target on your back.
It's a good place to be. If people want to fight you, a lot of opportunities out there. But also, you know, there's a saying that you get 30% better when you have a title. You know, everything steps up. Your training camp steps up. Your team steps up. Your self-belief steps up. And I think that's the biggest aspect of being a champion is that level of confidence. And when you see that as he walks to the ring, that's a man who knows he's a world champion, who wants to stay a world champion tonight.
He is ranked number 5 in the States by ESPN at 118 pounds. After being a professional athlete for only just 3 years. He's also a former kickboxing world champion. You know anything about kickboxing, Mr. Algieri?
You used to do the thing you came one on the back there.
Yeah. Quite successful as a kickboxer as well. Always did train as a boxer and kickboxer at the same time. He had an amateur boxing career as well.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the playing of the national anthem of Japan.
これより両選手の栄誉をたたえ国歌演奏のセレモニーを行います。ご来場の皆様、ご起立そしてご脱帽をお願いいたします。ご協力ありがとうございました。どうぞご着席ください。
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome. Nippon no boxing fan no minasama konbanwa. And indeed, a very good evening to you, ladies and gentlemen. We welcome you to the Ariake Arena here in Tokyo, Japan for the co-main event of the evening, brought to you by Ohashi Promotion. This bout is sanctioned by the WBO, the president Francisco Valcarcel, and the supervisor Tsuyoshi Yasukochi. Introducing our three judges, scoring from ringside, from the Philippines, Edward Ligas, from Japan, Masakusa Morase, and from the Philippines, Don Rex Tapda-san. And our third man to the ring, the referee in charge of this bout, Katsuhiko Nakamura. All right, fans, here we go with the co-main event of the evening, 12 rounds of boxing for the WBO Bantamweight Championship of the World. Introducing to you first, the champion on my right, fighting out of the red corner, wearing black trunks with white trim, hailing from Yokohama, Japan. He weighed in at 117 3/4 pounds, 53.4 kilograms. He is undefeated in his campaign in the ring with a record of 9 wins, no losses, 8 wins coming by way of knockout. Tonight, making the first defense of his title, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the newly crowned, hard-hitting WBO Bantamweight Champion of the World, introducing the undefeated Yoshiki Takei! And his opponent across the ring is the challenger on my left, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing blue trunks from Tokyo by way of Okinawa, Japan. He weighed in the same as his opponent, 117 3/4 pounds, 53.4 kilograms. His record stands at 21 wins, 2 losses and 1 draw, with 19 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the current hard-hitting WBO Bantamweight and the former WBC Flyweight Champion of the World, introducing Daigo Higa! Once again, a referee in charge, now to give instructions, Katsuhiko Nakamura.
Title match 12回戦ルールを守って選手権にふさわしいクリーンファイトを期待します。検討に乗ります。以上。
All right, here we go. Our co-main event of the evening, the WBO Bantamweight World Title defense for Yoshiki Takei taking on Daigo Higa. In his 10th professional fight, making his first world title defense, the Southpaw from Yokohama, Japan, a place that Daigo Higa has been before in terms of a world title fight. He's had 4 title fights, is 3-1. He's the former WBC flyweight world champion, made 2 successful defenses of that, and is now ranked #1 at bantamweight for the WBO. Has a ton of experience at 29 years old with 24 professional fights against just 9 for Takei, just a 3-year pro.
Takei hasn't thrown a punch yet, fighting that crouch position, that southpaw stance. There we see a lead southpaw jab, splits the guard of Higa.
Higa lunging forward there. Pretty slow start here to round one as Takei looks to at least shoot the jab, not really making much contact and closing the distance there against the orthodox fighter in Higa. And even though Takei has a 3-inch height advantage, you can't really see that with the way he kind of crunches over that, almost leaning over that front foot, which can be a bit dangerous.
Yeah, I keep mentioning that these Japanese fighters, they fight with a very wide foot position. And Takei gives up that height, as you said, just crouching over that lead foot, but still has a very wide stance. But he's able to fire that jab from that down position.
Oh, looking to land a hook with the right hand is Higa there, and he gets a left up over the guard of Takei.
It seems like Higa has a good game plan. He's trying to cut off the ring with those looping shots, throwing the right to land the left, and vice versa.
Side-to-side movement from Higa with that upper body moving towards the dangerous hand, the left hand there of the southpaw.
One that Takei has not thrown much of thus far.
WBO 世界バンタム級タイトルマッチ両選手の経歴戦歴をご紹介いたします。赤コーナー武井義樹大橋事務所属、1996年7月生まれ東京都足立区出身。デビュー2021年。
Not a lot of clean punching there.
No, I mean, you see Higa throwing those big shots. It was a nice uppercut on the inside for Takei, but not a lot of clean punches. Not a lot of work was done in round one. A bit of a feel-out round, if you want to call it that. Didn't seem like either man really wanted to take the lead.
Daigo Higa is fighting for the first time in 9 months. In his last fight, he won by knockout victory in the 4th round. In fact, back-to-back performances from him in 2023 were 4th round knockouts. Then Yoshiki Takei coming off his world title victory against Jason Maloney that he won by a unanimous decision.
His only decision to date.
Correct.
8 straight KOs prior to that. See him, maybe he's pacing himself here, understanding that he's got 12 rounds ahead of him.
I'm sure something that was taken away from his last fight as he was an uppercut, just misses with the overhand right, and opening up a bit more here in round 2 is Takei as he lets his hand go, and then right back comes Higa with some looping shots.
Takei got rocked. Higa can punch. You mentioned that from the open. And exchanges like this are very dangerous for both men. I mean, both guys can punch, but first round, not a whole lot of action. A minute into round 2, and we got bombs flying.
As they walk it back to the center of the ring, but you could tell Higa, comes forward throwing more of those looping shots, just hoping to catch Takei, whereas Takei's a little bit more tight, a little bit more precise with his shots as he misses there with the jab, but more of a straight line than those.
I think there's a little more thought process behind it for Higa. I mean, I feel like he's throwing one punch to land another, like similar like that. He's trying to cut off the ring with looping shots.
It's kind of unique how he looks down while he's throwing that shot too.
He's deceptive. He's deceptive with these. Ooh.
Oh my goodness.
Nice.
And when you get that nod, right? Like, okay.
Like, all right, nice one.
You got me.
That was a tricky move. It was a lead right uppercut off that front hand from the southpaw position of the champion. Caught Higa as he was crouching forward.
And there he goes, at least changing direction on the outside as he went towards the left and then stops and moves back to the right-hand side. And Takei's got to throw a shot, and there he does, landing a beautiful right hand up top.
Takei is finding a home for the uppercuts against the shorter, squatter fighter in Higa. You see Higa gets very heavy over that front foot. Uppercuts are a great weapon. We've seen him use both hands, the left and the lead right hand.
And Takei's landing in that first shot in the combination before kind of Higa moves in and smothers him. You can hear that body shot land there.
Yeah, these guys are both throwing heat. I've never seen a fighter move their hair as much as Higa has so far.
Yeah, it is tight. It is staying in place. Got the hairspray on lock.
Yeah, this is the second round. I mean, first round, it wasn't much to speak of, but that second round, these guys came out guns blazing. We saw a right hook and a left again. Another right hook landed by Higa, which had the champion in a bit of trouble there. But for the rest of the round, Takei boxed very smart and well from the outside, landed some big shots of his own, especially with the uppercuts. Here we see one of those uppercuts there. Oh, and then there's that combination again that caught the champion, had him wobbled for a moment. He recovered well, did Takei. Yeah, this has been a consistent weapon he's been using in these first two rounds, has been that jab, uppercut, hook combination. Again, fighting a shorter opponent, it's actually a very good move. Bring that uppercut to pick their head up and then come back with the hook.
As we're in round 3 of our co-main event, Christina Poncher and Chris Algieri here with you, the Ariake Arena in Tokyo, Japan. Still to come in our main event, Naoya Inoue looking to defend his undisputed status at super bantamweight against TJ Doheny. That's coming up next. The seats have definitely filled in quite nicely there in Ariake Arena, awaiting the monster. But they have themselves another world champion in front of them now. Higa's tricky.
Yeah, like I said, he's deceptive how he delivers those looping hard shots, and he's got a game plan. They look wild, but there's some. Oh,
nice short chopping shot there.
They're wild by design, and Takei, the champion, is the opposite of that. He's very methodical. So that lead right uppercut's a beautiful shot. Just gets his head outside the guard and slices up with that punch, splits the guard.
Oh, nice shot. Just walked him right into that right hand, Chris.
Awesome timing and execution.
Again, some really hard shots being landed by Takei here in round 3.
Be careful, Higa's punching with him. Those are dangerous guys, and he is a real puncher as well. There it is again.
Yes, right on cue. Left, and then finishes with the right hand and taps him right there again with the left.
Yeah, Higa's a fire plug, man. He's coming forward, he's explosive.
Under a minute left here in round 3.
I like how calm the champion is staying. Okay, he's got a guy. He's landing some big shots. He's had an effect, but he's staying calm, sticking to the game plan.
And he looks confident fighting in close range with him as well. I mean, you're standing in there with a puncher. He's like, hey, I'm one too.
Taking flack too. He's getting hit with some of these shots.
Beautiful combination, culminated with the beautiful right hook.
Rocked Higa. Yeah, he's still feeling that one.
Takes a bit of a walk.
Yeah, Takei can punch. He's shown power with both hands tonight.
And in this bantamweight division, you have Yoshiki Takei at the WBO champion. All 3 of the other champions are all Japanese fighters. I mean, Nishida's got the IBF, Junto Nakatani with the WBC and Inoue, Takuma Inoue with the WBA. So a straight flush for Japanese fighters at the bantamweight division. And
there's a look at that lead uppercut that I was speaking about, that slicing shot that the champion obviously had been working on in camp. He's thrown quite a few of them. Very dangerous punch. Ever see some of the other? That's that shot right there, that right hook. That was the one that seemed to have rocked Higa toward the end of the round. You saw that little stutter.
Yeah. But these bantamweights, very skillful.
Very talented. And they're all from Japan in the bantamweight division. But I think, for me, Junto Nakatani is the class of the group.
Hands down.
But I bet you Takei would like to argue with us.
Oh, and he just got hit with the chopping right hand as well. Over the top from Higa.
That's a tricky punch,
It
man.
is.
Over the top. Ooh.
Oh my gosh, back and forth they go, just popping the head back of the champion.
Takei cannot get away from those hooks.
And he's eating them from both the left and right side. Finally holds and walks them back.
And there are advantages to having shorter arms in certain situations, and that's one of them.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, he's like, no, I slipped, I swear.
We have a firefight here.
Yes, but nonetheless, I mean, these two have decided to now, look at that uppercut being thrown from Takei, and they have decided to throw some caution to the wind here.
Yeah, Takei is
much to the fans' delight.
Getting out of what he's used to doing, being very fundamental and what's the word I'm looking for?
More
Fundamental
precise,
and
you know, and economical with his shots.
Economical.
Now
He's getting very wild. Methodical is the word I was looking for. He's going to be very methodical. Not so much here. He's been dragged into a firefight, which is where Higa likes to be.
There's a little back kick on that.
Threw that back leg up as he swung that shot. I was just about to say, Higa's a tricky guy because he's either doing nothing or he's exploding. And then he throws that shot, foot up in the air. And look at the stance of Higa, very strong, very balanced, nice 50-50 stance in terms of where his weight is. He can throw both hands.
Yeah, and clipped him twice with a jab there, did Higa.
Now, Higa's also what kind of guy, he throws everything hard. So he saves up. He's a puncher, he's walking around the ring, saving up his energy until it's time to explode.
Takei trying to bait him in a bit with some of these feints, but Higa's not biting. Swinging out with the jab hand and then gets caught with the overhand left.
This has been an excellent round for Higa. He's landed some bombs.
And they just smile and touch gloves and go back to the corner.
Yeah, Takei is in a very tough fight here, and he doesn't seem like he's acting like it. Seems very composed. See some of that inside action here. That was that tricky punch that we were talking about, Christina, that overhand right from Higa. He throws it over his own head, doesn't even see where the punches land, but was very effective when he had the champion pinned on the ropes. Here we see some of those looping shots. Bang, that big left hook and a right hand.
Yeah, he got caught with both hands in that
here,
exchange.
I think he's going to hit and land a left hook as Takei was looking to land that uppercut hook combination that was so effective a couple rounds ago.
All right, round 5 action definitely heating up, and Higa having a very solid round in round 4 there.
Yeah, that's been his best round of the fight so far, landed some really big shots.
Okay, using the jab. And almost getting caught again with that overhand left from Higa. He's got to be careful when he throws that jab, and now he lands a nice left hand there. And right back comes Higa. I mean, he's taking those shots very well, even on the counter.
Yeah, Higa has found a home for that left hook. As Takei throws that rear-handed uppercut, he understands that he makes that right hook too wide, and there's an opening to get there with a shorter hook, and Higa has been taking that.
Bit of posturing from both fighters here midway. It's about the midway point of round 5, and
Higa is letting Takei lead, and he's countering, answering everything.
just touches him there with the jab hand as Takei's waiting to land that uppercut. Scoring shots here.
Higa is a former champion himself. He can fight.
Absolutely.
After round 1, these rounds have been flying by. A lot of action, a lot of heavy shots landed by both men. You get the impression that either one could hurt the other.
You know, obviously with the orthodox and a southpaw, you know, the jab's kind of negated in a bit as they've kind of touched that lead hand up several times. It's been the rear hand.
I think Higa has actually shown the more impressive jab tonight. That's the one that's been able to land the cleaner shots with that lead hand.
Especially because Takei is kind of turning it. Takei's like an uppercut almost sometimes when he throws that lead hand, more so than...
He never has that lead hand up. It's always down from down position, so he throws an up jab from there or he
like
that uppercut like you saw there.
Yep.
Once again, it's that same combination. When Takei comes in with that uppercut hook combination, Higa has found a home for the shorter left hook on the inside, just like that. He's been answering consistently with that punch. And there's that lead uppercut that we saw.
And Takei actually shot the left hand at the same time.
Yep. Yeah, he's a dangerous guy. He punches with you. He's not a your turn, my turn fighter at all. And he throws his punches short and concise.
And you can see the movements. Even obviously, we're not understanding exactly what he's saying, but his corner is kind of telling me after you throw the punch, you gotta hop back out, or you gotta move side to side. You can't just stand right there and wait for that counter, because just like you said, that left hand counter is coming right after that uppercut.
He answers everything.
Is that the main adjustment you feel like Takei needs to make at this point?
I think he needs to get on his jab and a more proper jab like that, where he can actually play with the distance. He has the length and reach advantage. He's got a guy who's fighting in spurts and is being very explosive. You keep that distance, you make them reach, and then use your counters. Those same combinations can work, but he's got to set them up first. Tangled feet there.
And he lets out a sigh there.
He's in a fight. He's having a good time. Like that. Use the jab on the way in.
And then he gets caught right with that same left hand on the way out. And again, when Higa is able to back him up against the ropes.
He has a lot of success with those moving shots.
Sure does. As the crowd's getting a little more into the fight now.
I don't don't see a lot of urgency from the champion. He's in a fight. He's getting hit with some big shots consistently.
Yeah, I'm definitely curious to see how the judges, you know, are giving these rounds. What they like, what they prefer to see, because right now it seems like the harder shots. He landed that uppercut there with the right hand to Takei, but I mean, just snapped his head back again.
But he has a lot of eye-catching shots from Higa.
Yes, from Higa, right?
Yes, absolutely. Takei is dogged to try and land that lead uppercut. He's coming up just short. Well timed there.
He looks to go right back to it.
Body shot there.
Higa's working in the corner. And then Takei turns him right back.
Big shots from the champion.
Oh, beautiful timed shot right there with the right hand.
Higa took that well. Posturing here.
Which they've done throughout the fight. You really get the sense that like they're both really enjoying themselves in there. I think they're having fun.
Does certainly seem like that.
Definitely a lot more seats filled in as we are fight away from our main event. Naoya Inoue taking on TJ Doheny. That's coming up next.
Getting closer to the return of the monster. See that? I kept talking about that Higa jab. I've been impressed with the jab, even for the shorter man. He's been coming in, landing those solid eye-catching shots. There's another one, that left hook. But that lead uppercut from the champ, Takei, has been a good weapon, something that he's been consistently throwing, or at least trying to land. There it is again. Would like to see more setups. I think the jab make the accuracy on that uppercut a lot higher. He got to be offset by that lead hand jab a bit more.
You don't want it to become too predictable either. Especially when you leave yourself so open to those counters after throwing that uppercut. There he is doubling up on the jab, throwing another for Takei.
At this range, you know, he's going to be winning moments and winning rounds. It's when he puts his back on the ropes, or if he stays in front too long.
Oh, nice left hand again by Higa, and then right back comes Takei, but he still catches Takei with the left hand. Clubbing it there a bit.
Wild stuff from the champion here.
I mean, he gets tagged with that left hand almost every time he opens up.
He's got his chin up in the air, and that lead hand is always down. That Higa jab again.
And now he gets a left hand in of his own.
Sweeping left hand from Takei.
Nice.
Check hook
Yeah, there was a good adjustment on that lead hand.
That was a good adjustment over the shorter jab of Higa. See, he's done much better this round drawing a line in the sand.
Right there.
For the shorter man, as he comes forward, crosses the critical distance line, he's been able to attack, shift, keep moving. Good adjustment from the champion here.
Yes.
In round 7.
Particularly the second half of this round.
Right. Love to see him use some feints, especially when you got a guy who's so explosive like Higa. Feint that first move out of him.
Under 30 seconds left here in round 7. Back to
Higa.
more of that methodical boxing you were talking about, Chris, from Takei here. Where he's giving himself proper space and distance, getting out of range of shots like that he was getting tagged with, and then it lands a jab there.
Long jab from Takei, but then that counter jab from Higa, which is a much more eye-catching shot, lands very clean.
Yeah, that was early in the round.
And that's the thing, it's hard to miss the punches by Higa, the work that he's doing. It's very obvious because of the hand position, the chin position of Takei. He's got his hands down, chin way up in the air, so when he gets hit, it looks so much more dramatic.
竹にもう強いのだけ打たせる。ね。しかも強いのだけ打たせる。
ラウンド8。
As we begin round 8. Wonder how, I mean, if you were to give a scorecard, I know you're not scoring it by round, but
it's
hard.
close, but I feel
Yeah.
like Higa may be ahead. I mean, he's definitely won a couple of those rounds early on. And he's, again, landing these eye-catching shots. It's so obvious when he lands.
Really nice combination work to start this round for Takei. When you flash back to the rounds of those signature kind of moments, the moments that maybe stand out more, those are at the hands of Takei. But if you looked at how, at Higa, but if you looked at how Takei kind of ended that last round, that last minute and a half, that was some good work. And down to the body goes Higa as he gets Takei in the corner.
Higa's putting up some effort tonight. He's in fantastic shape. You can tell he's trying to fight through getting tied up. He's being aggressive, letting those hands go. Nice double uppercut from Takei there to get himself off the ropes.
Takei trying to figure him out as he gets in trouble again as he gets backed into the ropes. I mean, when Higa decides to bully him and come forward and get him up against the ropes, he has the most success.
Yeah.
The center of the ring is not the spot.
And looping shots are very effective on the inside. Here we see it again. It's not where Takei wants to be.
They're both trading shots here under a minute left in round 8.
Higa making it very rough on the inside, so pulling the head of the champion down. No complaints from the champ or warning from the referee. And besides those few spurts, Takei's actually having a good round. Landing some good heavy shots, especially looping with that rear hand.
Landed a good one right there and just right out of the way.
2 points is a straight line, and Higa's throwing that nice straight jab, just stepping through the target, gets himself into position, and then he throws the looping shots. Effective game plan from Higa tonight.
Who's been on this stage way more times than has Yoshiki Takei in terms of being in a world title fight. He's a former WBC flyweight world champion. He's made 2 successful defenses of that title. He's fought in 4 total world title fights. This is only the 2nd for Takei, and right now Higa's showing his world class, putting on quite a performance here against Takei. And he is confident standing there and throwing shots, shot for shot, with the champion, especially in this position right here, where he's had the most success against the ropes.
And Takei is willing to stay in the pocket. Seems like every time he gets hit with a big shot, he stands his ground to get it back.
Forehead to forehead, they take turns throwing shots, the uppercuts for Takei, the hooks for Higa. That's a big one, 2 of them with the right hand, 3 big shots there from the challenger.
Takei is showing an incredible chin. He's been getting hit with some huge punches while punching, getting clipped.
And we're talking about shots coming from a guy who has 19 knockouts in 21 fights.
The risks that Takei is willing to take tonight, very, very surprising. But he's taking the shots well. Takei is just so confident, willing to trade punch for punch.
Here's the uppercut hook combination from Takei.
That uppercut's been a good weapon. He's landed some big shots. You see the damage on the nose and the eye of Higa.
And a body slam to boot.
We'll take that for good measure as well.
Downstairs, yes.
Heavy, heavy shot.
And just walked right into a left hand there from Higa, who misses wildly with that hook.
He's moving and firing.
Oh, and it catches him though.
Got him with a big shot there.
Sure did, caught him with the right hand.
These 2 are warriors.
I wish we had CompuBox right about now. Shout out to Dan.
This is the position where he guys had the most success, is when the champion has his back along the ropes. The shorter, harder shots of Higa have paid the way when they were in this position here. But from the middle distance and long distance, Takei is landing some really big shots, especially the uppercut off that rear hand. Here we see that little tackle.
He's like, it's okay, I'm good. I'm having fun.
Bang! Big overhand shot to the forehead of the champion. A little blood from the nose as well. Takei. See the corner working on that nose.
Round 10.
I mean, it's been a fun fight.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even if it hasn't been always the cleanest punches.
Hasn't been the cleanest, hasn't been the prettiest,
Yeah.
but it's been very fun.
As we get here into round 10, you know, this is, you know, somewhat new territory for Takei. He got a round 11 knockout against Bruno Tarima, which was a great performance, and then won the title by unanimous decision. But it's definitely a place where Higa's a lot more comfortable.
Struggled late in that title winning effort
sure did.
against Maloney.
Sure did.
See if he figured out that gas tank situation in training camp preparing for this fight. He seems to be moving quite well. Haven't really seen him slow. his pace, even though he's taking some big shots down the stretch.
He's definitely proven where his chin's at as well.
Yeah,
For a fighter with only 9 pro fights at the hands of a champion, and that one kind of stopped him in his tracks for a minute, didn't it?
Stung him there, yeah. Good chins do run out. Sometimes it takes years, sometimes it takes a few rounds.
Oh, Higa wanted that uppercut right back, didn't he?
He's looking for that shot all night long. Takei has a very tough stance in order to land an uppercut. He fights off that back foot at times. He leans forward, sure, but he's very reactive. He pulls straight back. Doesn't stay in one place for too long.
Strong jab, 2 in a row, then down to the body, then shoots the uppercut downstairs with 2 left hands. Comes back to work on the right side.
Another jab.
By far where Higa does his best work up against the ropes. I'm trying to take this round here, Chris.
Putting in a lot of work here in the last 45 seconds. Higa's landed 4 or 5 really good, clean, solid jabs. You mentioned there's blood from the nose of the champion. Jabs are not going to help. Here comes in with a jab and eats an uppercut.
You wanted that feinting, but yet he feinted himself right into a left hand.
That right eye, no, a little cut over the left. Couldn't tell if that eye was swollen or not, but there's that jab from Higa. That thing has been very consistent throughout. Very short, fundamental jab, right down the middle, closes the distance, and then once he's on the inside, this is where he likes to work. Both hands to the head and to the body.
And that was right at the end of that round.
And Takei was having a good round up until the last about 45, 50 seconds. Higa really poured it on. Left for the nose. Seems like there's a little abrasion or a cut over the left eye. Yeah. Not a deep cut, though.
Yeah, small cut, though.
Round 11.
Now we get into those championship rounds, and Takei very much is realizing that this is another level here. Once you become a world champion, and he's getting everything that he can get from the challenger who has backed up the champion here to start round 11.
You mentioned about chins. Sometimes a great chin gets touched a bit throughout a fight and starts to soften up.
And he touched right on that cut, which is now pouring down the face of the champion. Now looks like a cut now on the left eye of Higa.
Just too many holes in the defense of the champion, Takei. He's getting hit with big shots consistently all night long.
So now both fighters cut here in round 11 with the cut of Higa. And can Takei keep himself at that space, that distance right there where he's been able to land more solid shots like that?
You know, Takei hasn't listened to his corner. The corner had said they wanted him to move after his combinations. He just stays right in front, lets his hands go, and he's right there for waiting for the receipt. And Higa has been a guy who's been answering consistently whenever Takei does throw anything. It's been an effective game plan.
that turn and that shot with the left hand there from Takei. Higa's slowed down his offense a little bit, but then lands a right hand just like that.
Oh, wow. Calling that a knockdown.
And they're going to call that a knockdown. Almost looked like he slipped right on that logo there on the center of the mat.
Very curious call there. That did not look like a knockdown.
Wow. And Takei made it known that that was a slip.
Takei, you just hit the punch with him because he has no thoughts of defense while throwing shots. Doesn't get his head offline. Doesn't care about what's coming back afterwards. He just wants to throw.
And that's the first time that's officially a knockdown that Yoshiki Takei has been knocked down as a pro.
I'd like to see that replay. That did not look good. He did get hit with a big shot a few moments prior to that, but it really did look like a slip.
And he tried to plead his case as well.
Smart move from Higa up there. You know, he had the round in the bag. No need to give opportunities for Takei to get it back. Big overhand.
And he just kind of like pushed him towards the back of his head.
It was kind of a hit behind the head, but also you saw his legs slip out. Yeah, I wouldn't have called that a knockdown. You see the back foot slip
It kind of
out.
slid. It kind of went quickly on the slippery white part of that logo on the mat, and unfortunately for Yoshiki Takei, that's considered a knockdown. And in a fight that has been real back and forth, that's
we
tough.
might have a new champion tonight.
That's tough. That's it. This is the final round, round 12, as they touch gloves.
You got to think both corners want their man to go out there and win this round. This is important. Important round for both men.
3 minutes to see if Yoshiki Takei can defend his world title and walk out of there with the WBO belt still wrapped around his waist, or will Daigo Higa become a 2-division world champion?
Big, heavy shots coming from the champion. This distance, he's a problem.
Oh, beautiful combination of punches from the champ. Backs up the challenger.
Higa looks hurt.
You just look over to his corner, too. Yeah, he has not recovered from that combination. 2 minutes, a world of time for the champ to work here in round 12.
Just trying to hold, not trying to punch.
We talked about how he would perform in the last round should we get there, based on what he had done in the Maloney fight. Would he have enough gas in the tank, enough endurance to finish strong if needed?
He's looking great here in the 12, putting on a ton of pressure.
Oh, beautiful shots, clean shots.
And damaging, because this is the most, or the least, I've seen Higa respond all night long. He's covered up, he's tying up. Now he's trying to punch back, though, getting the worst of it. Oh!
Again on the shot, pulling straight back as the champ moves forward.
I thought he was down, just squatted low.
He sure did. Higa holding again here. 1 minute left in the fight.
What a surprising turn of events. Higa's the one whose gas tank is failing him down the stretch. And Takei is coming on strong.
Absolutely. Could he get the stoppage he so desperately needs right here to not send this to the scorecards?
Very close.
You know, Higa's trying to send a shot with one of those haymakers.
Or even a knockdown for Takei to get that point back would be really beneficial here.
24 seconds left to work, and a very dominant round for the champ here in round 12.
Higa's doing everything he can to stay in this fight, stay on his feet.
Oh, another devastating shot twice with the right hand there. Just trying to make it out of the round as the challenger, and he does as these two embrace, and we will go to the scorecards.
Higa barely made it out of that round. He took more damage in that 12th round than he did all night.
That's exactly what happened to Yoshiki Takei in his last fight in the 12th round.
Yeah, exactly.
The exact same.
Such a turn. Such a role reversal. Was it enough?
The arena sure got quiet.
Yeah.
It did after the
this is tense.
The rally.
This is tense.
I mean, a world title's on the line.
Very entertaining fight. Very entertaining. Surprising ebbs and flows throughout. But man, that 12th round onslaught from Takei from beginning of the round to the end. He was pretty much non-stop. Oh man, big shots right to end the 12th round.
And then of course smiles and an embrace.
Yeah,
what else
they
did
were
we
like
expect?
that all night.
Right? Maybe Takei can give Higa some tips with the hairspray, because Higa did mess with it all night long. Both cut. So much respect between these two.
Well learned.
Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent fight.
I'm sure from the fight fans as well. Jimmy Lennon Jr. is in the ring and has the decision. Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds of action, we have a unanimous decision. Here are the score totals. Judge at ringside, Edward Ligas scores the bout 115 to 112, and Masakusa Murase and Donrex Tapdasan both score the bout 114 to 113. All three in favor of the winner, and still WBO bantamweight champion of the world, Yoshiki Takei.
And a sigh of relief from the champion, who had a huge 12th round to walk out with the unanimous decision victory, 114-113 twice, and 115-112 to remain the WBO bantamweight world champion.
He did that 12th round.
Absolutely
He'd
did.
go out there and do what he did in that round. I mean, then it would be a draw. But would have kept his title anyway. But good fight, really good fight. No, actually, he would have lost.
No, he would have lost.
Yeah, he would have lost. Yeah, because it would have been a 2-point swing. Yeah, he would have lost that title tonight if he didn't have that big 12th round. Close scorecards though. 115-112.
Close fight.
114-113. Well done by the judges.
We're going to get an interview from the champ. You can tell he gave everything that he had in that fight, and he was absolutely tested tonight against Daigo Higa, who gets an ovation from the Takei corner and from the crowd. You have to think this might be the last opportunity for him at a world title shot at this point in his career, but he certainly did give it his all tonight.
Very, very good effort. Stiff challenge. Well done. Made it for a very entertaining title defense. But a lot of things that the champ Yoshiki Takei needs to work on.
壮絶なる戦いを制しました初防衛に成功の武井良樹選手です。今のお気持ちはいかがでしょうか。
こんにちは、足立区から来た大橋ジム武井です。すいません、自分の中ではまだ全然 この勝ちにはあんまりまだ納得できてなくて、でも本当に大悟さんと最高の試合できてよかったです。大悟さん、麦さん、本当にありがとうございました。
First of all, I am so sorry. I cannot say this is a satisfying fight for me. I'm not satisfied yet, but it's been great that I've been fighting against Daigo in this fascinating fashion.
お互いトレーニングも一緒にしてきました。尊敬しているファイターだという戦い。まず今の比嘉選手の印象だったり感じたことを教えてください。
Please tell us your impression about Higa as a boxer in the ring because you know each other for a long time and you've been training together for a long time.
はい、比嘉選手本当に打たれ強いし気持ちも強くてガンガン前に出てきて、まあ本当にパンチも強くて自分がやられたくないことをいっぱいやられて本当にすごく強いファイターでした。本当に感謝しています。
I am so thankful for Higa. I know he's a tough fighter mentally and physically, and he's done everything that I didn't want him to do.
ダウンを一度奪われました。あの時の感覚はどうだったんでしょうか。
You knocked down once against Higa, and how did it feel?
そうですね。まあ自分の中であれはちょっとダウンかわかんないですけど、でもダウン取られてもおかしくないパンチの漏れ方をしてたんで自分が悪いです。はい。でも本当に大悟さんのおかげで俺まだまだ上に行けるなって思えるので本当に感謝しています。まだまだ頑張ります。ありがとうございました。大悟さんと
things that he said there, Chris, you know, I learned a lot from this fight. I knew him very well. I knew he was going to be tough. And I think one of the things that he showed that he learned was how to pace himself. Even in a tough fight,
yes,
he brought what he needed and did what he needed to do in those championship rounds. Something he lacked last time, he came through strong, and that's what got him the decision tonight.
Yeah, I mean, he showed resilience and mettle. He had to pull this fight out at the end. He got hit with some big shots. Definitely, like I said, made a lot of mistakes, a lot of things that he can work on, and he said he learned a lot. I hope they go back to the drawing board, really watch this fight and see where these defensive lapses are, where the holes are. When he's being so offensive-minded and getting hit with these big shots, you cannot do that and maintain your titles. He's going to have to adjust and clean things up, but he did show a champion heart and a hell of a chin because he got hit with some really big shots from Higa, who's a good puncher. There was that knockdown, which looked more like a slip to us. But that last round, man, the onslaught that the champion brought to keep his belt, very impressive. Well, hard-earned victory and first title defense.
Yeah, and he said he wasn't extremely pleased with his performance, but I would say but I would say from what you walked away with, that taste in your mouth after the last fight and how that ended, to how you were able to turn around, get your conditioning on point to be able to perform at the level you did tonight. That was one, you can tell that he's constantly learning and willing to put in the work.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and he's going to need to. This is a very, very tough division with a lot of talented fighters in there.
And I'm glad he wasn't like, hey, unification, Junto Nekatani. Like, you're not, we're not quite at that level yet. But nonetheless, he is a world champion and has a successful title defense now under his belt. Now, the fight you've all been waiting for. Or the fighter, I should say, Naoya Inoue taking on TJ Doheny. That's for the undisputed super bantamweight world titles. Finally, coming up next, our main event.
まあ自分がどうありたいかっていうのはそんなに考えてなくて、ただ自分のこの現役生活のボクシングを見てくれた人たちがどう感じるかっていうのがすごく興味があるところで、まあ その見てくれる人たちの中での、ストーリーっていうものが人それぞれ多分あると思うので、別に自分がどうありたいかっていうのは今は全然考えてないですね。もうやるべきことをやって突き進んだ先に自分がどう思えるかってところが一つ重要だと思うんで、自分がこうありたいからそのために頑張るんではなくて、その頑張った先に自分がどう思うかってところを。
Naoya, the monster.
The fight against Paul Butler is a lesson to every fighter on how to cut off a ring and how to dispose of an opponent who doesn't want to engage. I mean, nowadays everyone makes excuses after the fights. Well, he didn't come to fight. Well, guess what? Watch what Naoya Inoue did to Paul Butler.
Opens up this third round with a combination as Butler's in that corner and desperately needs to get out.
The Butler fight, Butler really didn't want to engage with Inoue, and I'm not entirely sure I blame him.
Butler, I don't think is here to win tonight. I think he's just here to survive. That's it. He's here to survive. He's not letting his hands go. He fears the punching power from Inoue. Look at Inoue, he's having fun.
I think he's one of the best body punchers in the world today. He's consistent with it. He has beautiful setups. He sets traps, and that's really what it was. He caught Butler along the ropes and was able to dig that left hook to the liver to end the fight.
Right hand to the body is a good one. And a big right hand that comes in. Great work from Inoue. That power of Inoue comes through, and he gets it done at 11.
That's how you finish an opponent who doesn't want to engage, who just wants to survive. But guess what? You can't do that against Inoue. He's a monster.
Boxing's first undisputed bantamweight champion of the world, Naoya, the monster.
The Stephen Fulton fight, that was really the fight that we all had the most questions about Naoya Inoue going in, because we'd seen him get in with brawlers, we'd seen him get into firefights, but how's he gonna deal with a moving, slick fighter who has a little bit of pop?
This was a really interesting matchup. A lot of people were going into this fight thinking that Fulton could win. Myself included, not saying that he was going to win, but I could see this style giving Inoue enough trouble where he could actually lose.
Fulton's really good. He's skilled, he's tough, he's talented, he's a champion.
Another right hand from Inoue backs up Fulton.
He was able to allow Fulton to get his start and then make the correct adjustments. And once he did, that's when Naoya Inoue really shined. And
Inoue's making this fight look easy right now against Fulton.
This was the fight that really opened my eyes to how special Inoue is. Because, yeah, he's the puncher. Yes, he's the knockout guy. Fulton's the boxer, quote unquote. But now Inoue was able to completely outbox, befuddle, and stay one step ahead of Stephen Fulton all night long.
There was never a moment in which the fight seemed in doubt.
Really hard to get in and out.
Oh, right hand hurts him. Oh, a huge right hand from the monster. And then he chases him down. Fulton is laying out, struggling to get to his feet.
You know, he out-jabbed Fulton. He out-jabbed the boxer. And the way that he was able to finish him, I think just speaks worlds to Inoue and his ability.
That destructive, decisive power does it again. The monster, a 4-division world champion, stamping in Tokyo.
So for me, that was the breakout moment for Inoue being a pound-for-pound guy.
You are watching greatness in his absolute prime.
The Marlon Tapales fight, it was about making history, about becoming a 2-time undisputed champion within less than a year. It's not to say it was a foregone conclusion that he was gonna beat Marlon Tapales, but we all knew that Tapales wasn't on Naoya Inoue's level. So when I look at that fight, it's just grab your lunch pail, go to work, and do what you have to do.
These are hard shots by Naoya Inoue. Big left hand to the head.
Tapales was able to land the southpaw jab quite a bit early on. I wasn't used to Naoya Inoue getting hit so much. But eventually, you could just tell he was starting to close the gap, break down Tapales, was figuring him out because he's just such a high boxing IQ, and that power is undeniable.
Here comes Inoue, the monster. Left hand, right hand, Tapales is down.
And once he finally got to Tapales, it was just a matter of time, and he's able to put him away like he does with most opponents.
Inoue would throw a shot and then hook. Ooh. Big right hand there, backed up Tapales. He's not gonna make it up. Naoya Inoue makes history. The legend of the monster continues to grow. Inoue becomes only the second man to be undisputed in multiple weight divisions in the modern era. History made here in Tokyo.
I am so impressed with Inoue's cultural relevance in Japan, how he means so much to that country, and he connects to a big audience there.
The proof is in the pudding. He just sold out the Tokyo Dome. Over 50,000 fans flocked to the arena. The first boxing fight there since Mike Tyson was upset by Buster Douglas. So the fact that Naoya Inoue could bring a boxing fight to an arena that could only hold that magnitude of a fight, it really speaks to his drawing power.
Introducing Naoya Monster
I couldn't wait to watch the Luis Neri fight because going into that fight, Neri was really playing up to his role as the villain. And he actually called Inoue overrated. And Inoue going into that fight kept it cool, kept it calm, said that it wasn't personal to him, and he proved it in the ring.
For the undisputed junior featherweight championship, Luis Neri, Naoya Inoue.
Naoya Inoue, Luis Neri fight. You know, that was a super entertaining fight.
Neri comes forward against the monster.
I like that from Neri. It's dangerous.
It was the first time that I had ever seen Inoue look so undersized.
Neri right now doesn't seem spooked by the punching power. Oh! There it is!
Inoue goes down! Luis Neri with a first-round knockdown of the monster!
Yeah, in that second round when Naoya got dropped, I mean, it was a massive shock. And he was hurt. He was very hurt when he went down. It wasn't just a flash knockdown in terms of, oh, okay, yeah, that was footing. No, he was hurt.
First knockdown suffered of Inoue's career. New adversity faced for Naoya Inoue.
Once you get knocked down, that changes everything because the fight can go downhill really fast, or you can do what Naoya Inoue was able to do and just weather the storm, regroup in the corner, come back, and be himself.
Once he knocked him down, it lighted a fire in Inoue. Every fighter needs that courage, and his nickname as well, like that monster, to come out of him and show everybody, like, don't even play with me like that no more, type of an attitude. So he showed that.
What a shocking start to this undisputed championship fight. Now, how does the monster react? Oh, and Inoue returns the favor.
Lunging forward.
Neri came forward, overextended himself, and the monster caught him. Knockdown scored from Inoue.
Naoya got up, fighting with that Japanese warrior spirit, and right back to the fundamentals. Went back to what Naoya Inoue is all about, and was able to break Neri down.
To come back and drop Luis Neri and say, okay, now we're on even terms. How's the rest of the fight gonna play out?
Oh, look at this! Little showboat, trying to draw him in and then firing off. Oh, there's another one that splits the guard. Inoue on the attack. Left hook scores the knockdown again. Here comes the monster. There's the right hand as Neri has crumbled and the monster has roared. He's done it again.
I know his power is talked about all the time. He goes by the monster for a reason, but I don't think people understand how much power he truly has. When I look at the knockout, he put no torque in the punch, and it still knocked him out cold. So that shows you just how much power he packs in a solid punch that he's really not throwing with all his force. So he was blessed with that kind of power.
I feel like that fight, if I want to rank all of them, I would give it the Neri fight, just for the fact that he got clipped, dropped to the floor, first time, everybody's just like, wow. And then he got up and ended up stopping the dude, so I give him kudos for that one.
His last fight showed me what is most impressive about him, and that's his resilience. He went to the canvas and he was able to get up and knock out his opponent, and that's what makes a true champion that everyone will remember far beyond after they retire.
Monster
Like Inoue would be looking for the KO.
Well done, and you can tell how much respect the fellow fighters in the boxing world have for Naoya Inoue. As we take a look at the weigh-in from yesterday, both fighters ripped to shreds, Chris.
Yeah, absolutely. They both look to be in phenomenal shape. Both big punchers, both good size for the weight class. I actually think Doheny is a little bit bigger because Inoue, I think just at 122, he's just going to be oftentimes the smaller man. Here you see he's a half-inch smaller, half-inch reach advantage for TJ Doheny. But in terms of what they're going to weigh in the ring, I do believe that TJ Doheny is going to be the bigger man. But man, look at that age difference. 37 is TJ Doheny. He's been on quite a streak in Japan.
TJ Doheny.
Ladies and gentlemen, the time has come for the main event of the evening. Please welcome the boxers as they make their way to the ring. First, here is the challenger, fighting out of Australia by way of Ireland. He is the former IBF Super Bantamweight Champion of the world. Here is TJ, the Power Doheny.
Getting ready to make his way to the ring, TJ Doheny, 37 years old, born in Ireland by way now of Australia. Getting ready for his first world title fight in 5 years. He is the former IBF Junior Featherweight World Champion, made one successful defense of that title that he won back in 2018. But recently, Japan's been very good to him, Chris Algieri. 4-0 in Japan, winning his last 3 fights there by knockout. He has an opportunity tonight. Should he defeat the monster Naoya Inoue, it would arguably be the biggest win in all of Irish boxing if he could become undisputed Super Bantamweight World Champion. But that's a tall task against one of the greatest fighters of our time and who's cementing his legacy as one of the greatest fighters of all time, being a 2-division undisputed world champion, Naoya Inoue.
Making his way to the ring, here is the undefeated 4-division world champion and the defending undisputed super bantamweight champion of the world, Naoya the Monster Inoue.
There he is with all the belts in tow. The man, the monster, Naoya Inoue, 27-0, 24 knockouts. Not only is he a 4-division world champion, he is a 2-division undisputed world champion. When you watch Naoya Inoue, you better recognize that this is greatness in his prime.
Witnessing greatness in real time, watching this man develop, watching what he's been able to do, and the fact that he's ever improving too. He's getting better. His fundamentals, his technique, his power, his speed, he's going up a weight class, he's putting highlight reel knockout after highlight reel knockout. I mean, he really is something to see, and there's a reason that he's a global icon.
Man, everyone in that arena came to see. He's selling out arenas in Japan. A complete rock star, making a lot of money fighting over there.
And making a lot of money for his opponents too. And that's
Absolutely.
why guys are willing to go over there. It's pretty amazing.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask you to please rise for the playing of the national anthem of Ireland, followed by the national anthem of Japan.
これより両選手の栄誉をたたえ、両国国歌の演奏を行います。ご来場の皆様、ご起立そしてご脱帽をお願いいたします。 ご協力ありがとうございました。どうぞご着席ください。
Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you to the Ariake Arena here in Tokyo, Japan, for the featured bout of the evening brought to you by Ohashi Promotion in association with Teiken Promotions and Top Rank Incorporated. Well, as this undisputed world title is sanctioned by the WBC President Mauricio Suleiman and the supervisor Kevin Noon, along with the WBA President in attendance Gilberto Jesus Mendoza, supervisor Jose Oliver Gomez, the WBO President Francisco Valcarcel, supervisor is Leon Panasillo, and the IBF President Daryl Peoples, supervisor Ben Kilty. Introducing our three judges scoring the action from ringside. From the United States, Robert Hoyle. From Poland, Paweł Kardenyi. And from the United States, David Sutherland. And introducing our third man in the ring, the referee in charge from Hungary, Vince Kovacs. All right, fans, here we go with the main event of the evening, 12 rounds of boxing for the undisputed Super Bantamweight Championship of the world. And now, ladies and gentlemen in attendance and boxing fans joining us around the world, live from Tokyo, Japan, it's go time! Introducing to you first, the defending world champion fighting out of the red corner, truly one of the great stars of boxing today. Wearing white trunks with silver trim, hailing from Zama, Kanagawa, Japan. He weighed in at 55.3 kilograms, or the super bantamweight limit of 122 pounds. With a sensational record of 27 wins, no losses, he has 24 wins coming by way of knockout. And tonight, making his 23rd consecutive world title appearance, here is the renowned superstar of the sport, the boxing sensation and pound for pound great. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the 4-division world champion, boxing's pride of Japan, the current hard-hitting, undefeated, reigning and defending, undisputed Super Bantamweight champion of the world, introducing Naoya, the Monster. Tonight's challenger fighting out of the blue corner, wearing white trunks with green and gold trim, hailing from Portlaoise, Ireland, and currently residing in Perth, Western Australia. He weighed in at a ready 55.1 kilograms, 121 and 1/2 pounds. With a record of 26 wins, 4 losses, he has 20 big wins coming by way of knockout. Tonight making his 4th world title appearance. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome tonight's battle-ready challenger, ranked the WBO #2 contender. Here is the former IBF Super Bantamweight Champion of the world, introducing TJ, the Power And once again, here's our referee in charge. Now to give instructions, 12 rounds of boxing, we have Vince Kovacs.
Gentlemen, we've been over the rules in the dressing room. I expect a good, clean fight. Protect yourself at all times. Listen to my commands. Good luck, touch gloves.
Here we go, 12 rounds of action scheduled for the undisputed super bantamweight champion.
Level of intensity of that stare down is palpable.
Naoya Inoue taking on TJ Doheny, the southpaw, in his 4th world title fight.
Doheny looks huge. He is so much bigger than Inoue.
You can just tell across the width of his back.
Yeah, taller, wider.
Naoya Inoue starting his title journey at 108 pounds, has since collected world titles in 4 divisions. Doheny, a former IBF junior featherweight or super bantamweight world champion, made 1 successful defense of that title, has been in 3 world title fights, this his 4th. He feels very comfortable fighting there in Japan, Chris. He's 4-0 in Japan, and he actually has developed quite a nice fan base. People love and respect him out there, and absolutely earned his opportunity fighting last on the Inoue Neri undercard. Even was ready to step in if Neri didn't make weight. I mean, there was a lot going on there. They've kind of been behind the scenes building this fight up for a little bit of time, especially with his recent fights there in Japan.
Yeah, I read an article that was saying that he gets flagged down in the streets of Japan. He's quite the fan favorite. Is TJ Doheny in Japan?
But Naoya Inoue is something special. It's his 23rd consecutive world title fight. 24 knockouts in his 27 victories.
You gotta think that the looping left hand is gonna be a big weapon that TJ Doheny is gonna try to unfurl here. It was a southpaw left hand by Luis Neri that dropped Naoya Inoue in his last fight. You see Inoue having that right hand pinned to his chin here.
Especially in round 1, right?
Right.
Obviously referring to that 1st round knockdown that he suffered at the hands of Luis Neri in his last fight.
Yeah, it just seems that all these fights at bantamweight, Naoya Inoue is going to be undersized. You know, he's in his 4th weight class now. These 22-pounders are big.
And that's not to say that he looked small. I mean, he looked in great shape on the scale, did Naoya Inoue, as did Doheny, but some of that muscle definition is hidden under some of that weight gain, and also that really high guard, the high belt there for Doheny as well. Round 1 in the books from Japan. Naoya Inoue's father, Shingo Inoue, his trainer in the corner.
Very tentative opening round.
Yeah.
TJ Doheny not doing much at all. Naoya Inoue picked up the pace a little bit toward the end. Some good right hands down to the body. I believe that both men are going to be a lot more active here in round 2. And here we see TJ Doheny already coming out.
Already just flicking that right hand jab out. Doheny saying that Japan is a place that's been very close to his heart, and quote, "I seem to perform out of my skin here," is what he said about fighting in Japan. Used to fighting on the road, he's fought it all over the world. And actually feels very comfortable there. We'll see how comfortable he feels as the fight goes on against Naoya Inoue, who shoots a right hand down to the body.
And don't get confused, Doheny's a puncher. He's got 20 KOs in his 26 wins. He's big for the weight class. He's been at the world class level.
And he said it himself. He said, I'm a lot bigger, I'm stronger. He's like, I'm a little more athletic than some of his past couple opponents, and, quote, I've got a punch that can knock out a horse.
There you go. Oh.
Right now, he just got hit with a punch that nearly sent his head through the ropes here in round 2 at the hands of Inoue.
Smart tactic by Inoue, targeting that body with a straight right hand. One, it's a good weapon against an older fighter, but also it's going to protect him from that rear-handed looping shot, which I know he's aware of, based on what I had said earlier.
You can hear the voice of Hector Bermudez in the corner of Doheny.
Having a lot of trouble with their feet. Both men seem to be slipping and tripping on each other. That lead foot.
Just trying to establish that outside dominance when you have an orthodox and a southpaw fighter. And you can hear Bermudez telling his charge, get under him, as he looks to land that left hand.
He did. Inoue pulling straight back.
Double jab left hand from Doheny.
And I like that tactic, you know, get under him. And what Coach Bermudez means is he wants him to use that athleticism, change levels, get up and down, get that head swinging side to side like he did earlier in the round. You know, Doheny had said that I'm more athletic than a lot of his past opponents. He's showing that with that kind of awkward upper body movement. I think that's a good move against such a fundamental fighter such as Inoue.
And Inoue just taking his time pawing with that jab and then landing the right hand to the body. There throws a combination culminated with the left hand to the body.
Body shot.
Listen for the bell.
And a right hand.
Little exchange between the fighters there at the end of the round. TJ Doheny caught Inoue with a little check hook, and as he walked away, Doheny said, "You felt that."
It's kind of jawing at you. Do you feel like, you know, that's a tactic where you either get in your opponent's head or you feel them, you know, taunting you a bit?
It depends. I think it's a good idea for a guy like Inoue, like Doheny, to show that he doesn't have respect for Inoue. He's not overly respecting him. But for a guy like Inoue, I don't think it's going to affect him. You saw the way he walked away. He's got ice in his veins. I don't think that's going to affect him that much. I do like this technique, that right hand to the body that Inoue has been throwing. TJ's not giving him a whole lot. Inoue's taking what's in front of him, which is that right hand down low, that left hook that we saw at the body. There is a small abrasion on the bridge of the nose of Doheny.
You can see that here as we enter round 3 of the scheduled 12-rounder. Christina Poncher and Chris Algieri here with you, the Ariake Arena in Tokyo, Japan. All 4 super bantamweight belts on the line. Side-to-side movement here from both fighters to start round 3. Both of them just flicking out their jab hands, meeting them in the front.
TJ's smart. He's being awkward. That's what you want to do with a guy like Inoue. If you just try to match him skill for skill, fundamentals for fundamentals, you're going to lose.
And Inoue just playing some games with that front foot, stepping over and back before throwing that combination and moving action back to the center of the ring as Doheny goes to the body with the left hand. A fast combination there, mostly blocked by Inoue, but a bit of the hand speed on display there.
Don't even hit him hard, just touch him, nice work.
And he looks to want to, you know, punch at the same time as Inoue as well, as his corner tells him just keep punching, keep working.
Yes, they say don't hit him that hard, just keep touching him.
Yep.
Smart, very, very smart. Very, very good tactics from Coach Hector Bermudez in the corner there of TJ Doheny. I like what I'm seeing so far from these guys. Making Inoue think.
As he looks to quickly counter with that lead left hand does Inoue as he pulled back and then was just shy with that jab.
And that lead foot position is giving Inoue trouble.
Down to the body for Doheny. Good shots there. A little off balance throwing that rear hand.
And that's Doheny's punch. He's got a very vicious overhand left hand that he throws with serious power.
Good start down to the body with that left hand. And again, good combinations going up top as well.
Doheny looking real sharp here in round 3.
What do you think Inoue is doing here, Chris?
He's analyzing. Again, I mentioned how, you know, Doheny is being awkward. He's using some strange movement and not being fundamental. And I think Inoue is just analyzing the data, trying to get figure out the tells, see where he's going to be so he can anticipate the shots.
And land a right hand like that, and another one. That was a good Doheny round.
Very good round. Very good round. Very sharp. Very smart. Here we see that battle of that lead foot, little gamesmanship there from Inoue, but that foot has been giving him issues. The rest of the round, that was a point of contention.
And from what Doheny said, you know, he's like, Inoue's quick, he's sharp, he's snappy. There's not much that he does wrong, and I need to be smart, and I need to pick my spots and not try to match his high tempo. Although it's been Doheny so far that I think has been keeping the pace and the tempo for through the first 3 rounds or so.
Yeah, he's using an offbeat rhythm. He's been pretty active, especially that last round. You see him keeping that lead hand out, pawing it. His corner was telling him to hit him, keep hitting him. Don't worry about loading up. Don't worry about hitting hard. So the activity is there for Doheny, but the pace is slow, and that's I think what he means, because Inoue wants the pace to be revved up because he's able to make those split-second decisions. That's what separates him from other fighters.
A nice left hand landed right there by Doheny.
Good defense, son. Walk away. Good defense, son. Good defense. Well, you look at everything. You see everything. You see everything.
And because the crowd is so quiet there in Japan, you can hear clearly the instructions from the corner of Doheny, liking what they're seeing so far as he lands another left hand.
Yeah, excellent work from Coach Bermudez in the corner. That's the voice that you hear. He's a very cerebral coach, understands the game and what's going on in there, very high IQ.
Inoue starting to get a bit more active with his hands here, as he's now shooting that jab a little bit more frequently.
Almost, son. Almost in the That's on purpose. You got the ace deuce. Almost. Almost, son.
A lot of jawing from Doheny.
He's got to be careful leaning down on once he throws that looping shot too. As Inoue looks to go to the body with the right hand.
These body shots, when are they going to start playing a toll? You know, Doheny is getting touched here. How long can he keep this up at 37 years old, taking body shots with the monster? And also, these kinds of fights, Christina, where you have to constantly be thinking, are exhausting. Exhausting, emotionally tiring, psychologically tiring, physically tiring. And you're seeing Doheny is getting caught on those ropes more and more.
And back into those corners more as Inoue looks to land that right hand. Nice combination to get Inoue backed up from Doheny, who's fought a pretty good fight so far. Doheny composed, confident in there.
Yeah, they have a game plan, absolutely. I actually gave Doheny the third round. I thought that was a very good round. But the last round I gave to Naoya Inoue. Both just missing with counter left hooks. Good body work. Off the jab. That was a Canelo Alvarez move. Cut off to the side, throw the looping right hand. Canelo does that whenever he has a southpaw opponent with their back against the ropes. Inoue using the same tactic.
As we get into round 5, I'll be interested to see what information that Inoue was able to, quote unquote, download, if you will, or gather from that, as he usually starts to pick it up and land those combinations a little bit more at will. But Doheny's doing a good job just keeping himself busy, keeping his jab hand out. As he's got Inoue into the corner.
Inoue is inviting Doheny now. Let's see if he's putting himself on the ropes.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like he's starting to see something where he wants to bait him in there.
Which I'm surprised. I mean, I think he just could have kept doing what he was doing. I believed he was starting to break Doheny down in that last round. Was landing jabs, good body work. More and more time was spent on the ropes.
Get this weak side, go with that 6.
As Doheny goes back to the body.
Reaching down there. Reaching down there.
As Inoue works that angle where he moves to the left but shoots the shot with the right hand, and then Doheny comes answering back now.
Body shot.
Nice body work, twice with the right hand and finishes with the left.
Yeah, that was a tricky shot. He threw a nice uppercut on the inside as Doheny had his head down. Doheny couldn't see it. This is that position where Inoue is so dominant. You've got this man against the ropes. Boom.
Backing him into the corner now. Under a minute left in round 5. Body shot with the right hand for Doheny.
Doheny staying calm, but the pressure is on him.
Nice right hand there from Doheny to get him off the ropes.
Nice counter there from Inoue.
Strong jab.
Yeah, I can
right
see.
hand, left hand down to the body for Inoue.
Doheny's starting to take a rubber down here. He's fighting back, but he's being pushed at a pace that's faster than he wants to be. This is what he was talking about when he said, he's like, he's more active. I don't want him to be that active. As the activity level goes up, Inoue's starting to pick his spots.
Which is kind of what I was starting to see earlier in the round when I was like, I think he's taking what he's gathered from the first few rounds and yet adapted here in round 5.
This is that uppercut body shot. Boom, boom. 2 nice, tricky shots, and then a left hook on the other side. Good work from Naoya Inoue to the body throughout. Been very consistent, which is, you know, a good idea when you got a man with the size of Doheny in front of you and a guy who's putting himself on the ropes and not giving you a lot of openings. Take what's in front of you.
Oh, how I wish we could hear Shingo Inoue in that corner and what he was saying.
He's a fantastic coach. I think very underrated since he has both his sons are world champions.
I mean, he could be up there for trainer of the year. I think he won it back in like 2014 and then not since. And since Inoue was 2023 fighter of the year, it's not far-fetched that he should be in the conversation for trainer of the year.
Naoya Inoue is definitely much more aware of his defense in this fight than he was in the Naoya fight. He learned from that fight. Good hand position, not pulling straight back with the chin up in the air.
Work the body and then finish that combination up top to the head.
Constant smothering pressure from Naoya Inoue. Always stepping forward, always popping you with shots, always making you feel like you're in danger.
Oh, finishing that combination down to the body with the left hand. Oh, another shot with the right hand there. Doheny answers back with the left of his own.
Doheny's doing a good job of switching up the looping shots, the straight shots. Very difficult to gauge which punch he's going to be throwing at you.
And the body work for Inoue here in round 6.
Yeah, very, very good. And he's got that movement now. He's got that in and out. Very difficult to deal with when he starts getting on those toes, in and out. Popping, shooting, make you miss.
Oh, and there's a straight right hand that landed to the body.
Yeah, you're seeing the technique of Doheny start to break down a little bit here. That right hand, the thing is pinned straight. There's no fat on that punch whatsoever. Yeah, anyways, putting on a ton of pressure here, walking Doheny down.
Body shot for Doheny there. Yes, he's opening up a bit, and he's getting shots in, but they're more far and few between than those of Inoue. And he lands a looping overhand right.
That was a clever punch. Rolled out from underneath a clinch and then threw a shot over his own head.
And he's putting them together in combination now. Doheny's answering back with a shot here and there in between.
Yeah,
but it's the combination of punches from Naoya Inoue, who's now working up top after investing early in the round in the to the body.
Some good slippery defense from Doheny on those ropes, though. You're starting to see the face of Doheny get marked up. I think there's some damage over the eye.
Oh, down to the body. That one, you can tell had him hunched over there as that bell has him walking gingerly now back to his corner.
That was a lot of damage that Doheny just absorbed at the end of that round.
That bell came and he just kind of bent over there as he got back to his stool. But the amount of body shots landed from Naoya Inoue in that round, we don't have the CompuBox numbers for this fight for us, but that was a devastating amount of work.
I mean, he's been consistent all night long, but I think he was even more consistent this round with the headshots. Beautiful straight right hand right there. You see him beating Doheny to the punch, and then you talk about that body shot. Christina, there's a nice straight right hand that doubled Doheny over. Good overhand right hook punch there from Doheny, but not the same snap he had earlier. Ooh, that left hand to the body definitely had an effect.
TJ, how about you want it, TJ? Let's go, TJ!
In this corner, the parting words as we start the second half of this fight. How bad do you want it, TJ? And he's absolutely been game. And it looks like, oh no. Oh no, that's unfortunate. Looks like an injury is going to cause an end to this fight. And an expletive from Doheny as he seems to be in a tremendous amount of pain right now.
Look at the bruise on his rib.
As he's limping towards Naoya Inoue.
Interesting Achilles, perhaps? I'm not sure.
I mean, he pointed kind of to his hip, to his back. the fight's over. And what an unfortunate way for this fight to end.
Yeah, waiting for a little clarity on what exactly happened. And it's back.
We tried to kind of imitate what happened, and let's see if we can see right here.
He gets hit with a right hand here, and then he takes like a weird ginger step, and he goes back. He's freezing up there. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a time of 16 seconds in round number 7. The opponent unable to continue. He is the winner by way of technical knockout, and he is still the undefeated, undisputed super bantamweight champion of the world, Naoya, the Monster Inoue.
Well, not the highlight reel ending that maybe Naoya Inoue fans would have wanted, but nonetheless a TKO victory in round 7 as Doheny suffered an injury and is unable to continue.
Yeah, very anticlimactic ending, but listen, a win is a win. A stoppage is a stoppage. Naoya Inoue moves forward. He was starting to break Doheny down. You could see that he was separating himself, you know, and it's unfortunate that Doheny had to go out that way, but if it wasn't via that, it would have been via punches from Inoue at some point.
Well, and how many times did Inoue tag that side of his body as well, particularly at the end of the 6th round before walking back to the corner, where I said he walked back like hunched over kind of gingerly to his corner at the end of the 6th.
And there was literally a bruise on his rib on that side. Not sure if they're, you know, related, but certainly Naoya Inoue was coming on.
And if you're TJ and his entire team, family, you're just devastated by the way that that ended, especially with, you know, the type of fighter that he is and how well he's done in Japan and how, you know, he's trained so hard for this moment and this opportunity. And he did have some moments, but I mean, you saw him get tagged with the left there.
And, you know, in hindsight, he could have had something going on. Yeah, see impact. Yeah.
As we take a couple more looking at, he's kind of grimacing about kind of getting hit in his back earlier.
No, he got hit. He got hit with a very nice liver shot right before that. But you see him. But also, like I said, in hindsight, remember when the corner said, "How bad do you want it, TJ?" when he was walking out to the round. So were they discussing his back in between rounds? Was there an issue at the end of that round?
Well, it certainly looked like it to me, which is why I said what I said when he went back to the corner. But of course, not sitting there ringside, being able to see, I don't know if it's his hip, his back, but you could definitely see at the end of the 6th round, like something was bothering him. Perhaps they were trying to just get him to mentally try to block it out and see how much more he can do, because that expletive of frustration that he let out let you know like something was hurting, something was bothering him. He was not going to be able to fight through that.
Now he's 37 years old. I said the reason I retired was that my body gave out. My body wouldn't get me to where it needed to be anymore. So it very much could be something like that.
Turning 38 in November, and you've said like my back, like he's reaching onto that right-hand side and can't even sit up properly on the stool.
He looks very uncomfortable.
In the U.S. next year.
As he has conversations with Bob Arum, looking to make a big fight for Naoya Inoue in the States next year. Here's the post-fight interview with Naoya Inoue.
So how did this fight ended?
ダメージというものは、少なからず蓄積はあったと思います。まず、平日の足元の悪いお忙しい中、皆さん、会場までお集まりいただき本当にありがとうございました。
I think it was an accumulation of damage that I gave to him. But first of all, thank you so much everyone to coming to see the arena on rainy Tuesday night.
戦いの序盤から組み立て、出方から
比較的慎重だったなと見ていいんでしょうか、どうでしょう。
So can we say that you've been cautious from the beginning?
そうですね、今回、テーマというか自分としてやりたかったのは丁寧にボクシングを組み立てるボクシングというものは、簡単なものではないので倒しに行こうと思って倒せるスポーツではないのでしっかりボクシングというものを理解して、組み立てるように今日は意識をしました。
Tonight I really wanted to continue my fight one at a time, and I know boxing is not easy, so I really wanted to be slowing down, doing one at a time, giving my opponent a damage.
ドーム決戦を終えての一戦、本当に大事だというふうに望んでいましたし、相手がドヘニー選手だということで道着も抜いてやるよという言葉もありました。戦いを終えてそのあたりも含めて
Please tell us your thoughts on TJ Doheny.
そうですね、内容結果として、皆さんの、満足するような、きっと期待していたような試合内容ではなかったと思うんですが、長く試合をしていれば、こういう試合もあるということでまた次に期待していただきたいなと思います。
Probably this fight isn't the way it ended that you expected, but if I have a long career like this has been a night that we might gonna have, so please be sure to keep an eye on me and please expect me for the next match.
まだ未完成進化中というお話で本当にさらに楽しみになりました。我々が見ていない井上尚弥選手とがまだまだあるというふうに考えていいでしょうか。
You said you are still in progress, so can we expect to see the new Inoue in the future?
そうですね、まだまだ未完成だと思いますし、決して今日の試合の内容というのは自分の出来の悪さではなくて、やはりドヘニーのキャリアだったり試合運びのうまさというものが、こういう内容にさせたと思うので、まだまだ自分としては完成してないなと、もっともっと上を目指して頑張っていきたいなと思います。
Yes, I am still in progress, and today's match especially, I want to celebrate how TJ Doheny brought the fight into this ring and his career. So I would like to thank him, and you can expect me more in the future.
気になったのは先ほどボブ・アラムさんと何やら話をされていました。話せる範囲で何の話だったんでしょうか。
And we saw you having a conversation with Bob Arum, and if you can disclose something you can tell. What did you tell him after the fight?
I told him it was another great performance. I understand he'll be coming back here to Tokyo to defend his title again at the end of the year. And then we're taking him to the United States for a big celebration in Las Vegas.
今回年内にもう1試合ここ東京の地で試合をして、そして来年にはラスベガスで大きなイベントを開催したいと思っています。
それでは最後に放送配信をご覧の皆さん、会場の皆さんにこの先も見せて直哉選手の言葉をください。
Lastly, please give Japanese fan and boxing fan around the world a message.
今日、会場に、ご来場いただいた皆様、そして、レミノ、でご覧いただいている皆様、本当に、今日は応援ありがとうございました。こうして、皆さんが、見に来てくれて、レミノで、配信を見てくれて、僕はボクシングができるんだと、思っていますので、引き続き、期待して応援していただけたら嬉しいなと思いますので、また12月楽しみにしていてください。
ありがとうございました。ありがとうございました。井上尚弥選手でした。
Well, not the way we thought that it would go or anybody hoped that it would go in terms of an anticlimactic ending, as you saw TJ Doheny getting escorted off, unable to walk under his own power. But he was game, Chris, from the opening bell. I mean, it wasn't the best start for Naoya Inoue. Doheny had some, flashes of success, but he was starting to break him down. You could see it in round 5, round 6, and then obviously round 7, unable to continue.
Yeah, Doheny was game, and he came with a good game plan. He He was executing quite well, but it certainly seemed that Naoya Inoue had collected all the data he needed and was starting to pour on the pressure, putting on a ton of pressure with body punches, jabs. There you see the combinations as he was able to pin Doheny on the ropes more and more often as the fight wore on and started to do damage. You saw the markings around the eyes, the nose, the rib cage of Doheny. Naoya Inoue was starting to get there. Unfortunate it ended the way it did. In both cases, I mean, one because Doheny was actually putting up a good fight, and two because we want to see more of the monster. But nonetheless, another victory for Naoya Inoue, the monster.
And now he is 28-0 as a professional with 25 KOs. And we heard Bob Arum say possibly one more fight for him before the year is over. Being active is important, and we love to see fighters like Naoya Inoue in the ring. So for my partner, Chris Algieri, my producer and director, Marty Corwin, I'm Christina Poncher. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.
To me, is a Japan or Japanese fight. I mean, you got to bring it to the Tokyo Dome because they're going to sell out that arena. Both of them are from Japan. Why not have it there? I mean, I think that's an interesting style of clash right there, man, style clash, because, you know, you got the Nakatani who has the reach, has punching power with both hands. You know, I think Rudy has done a great job with him, man. You know, turning over his punches, turning over his shots. He understands that he's a taller opponent. He knows how to fight in the inside as well, and he continues to get better and better every time I see him, man. That is a very dangerous fight and a fight that I wouldn't mind seeing, and I'm sure the fans at home wants to see it as well.
Tim, Junto Nakatani, 7 world title fights, a 3-division world champion. He is definitely on the fast track, and when you can get a potential fight against someone like Naoya Inoue, you take it. So
I agree. You take that fight, absolutely. I think he'll do well in the fight. I think he has a possibility even beating Inoue. You know, I mean, look, whether he was carrying them or not, you saw that, you know, Doheny was giving him some fits with just his movements, subtleties, just a little nuance, you know, feint here, feint there, feint here, you know. And he was able to get off some offense as well. I mean, he wasn't able to hurt Inoue. However, you can see he was making them very cautious and patient. So I can see Inoue getting outboxed. He can be outboxed now, you know, and there's no hate, there's no shade. I'm just telling you what I see. It seems that he can be outboxed. If he doesn't close that range and get into that punching range to where he's an offensive machine and he's letting those combinations go, if you keep him outside, you can tame him.
I mean, are you surprised that Fulton wasn't able to do much?
Fulton didn't have enough power. But that was the lack of power. Where Doheny, he had the power, he had to respect it. You know, once he slowed down a bit and he didn't respect the power, that's when he stepped it up and he turned it up on him. However, if you do got power like a Junto Nakatani, you know, a guy that, again, can fight at any range, doesn't matter where it is, now you got so much to worry about because he's a shorter man. He's going to have to get on the inside. He has a shorter reach, and where, you know, he's going to expose himself trying to get on the inside. You saw what Nakatani was able to do against Maloney. I mean, my gosh.
Brutal.
Yeah, brutal knock. I think it was knockout of the year as well. So, again, I would love to see it. You know, I'm just telling you, giving you the little X and O's that I see. you know. But I think it's a fantastic fight. I think it's a winnable fight for both guys.